any questions on eligibility requirements? You guys are good to go? All right. So, I want you to go out again to your KV and look for how will I get notified of my award, what are the types of financial aid that are available, and what is the eligibility requirements for undergraduate students. And we'll just take about, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to find those because I think you can totally do it.
Yeah, because actually we continue all the way over to pretty much all day tomorrow for financial aid. So we have, yep, you guys are on all the way through. We do have like some review games.
Yeah. So we just essentially we have all of today to do this. I think, and then I just want to get some of
Yes.
Do you think they made it softer? Is that what you think?
I think it's more gold. I like it. Can you tell the difference?
Yeah.
I can tell a lot.
So I have a response for you on that issue. Let's see.
Did you send it or did I read it?
It's pretty much, I can send it to you. This is just a response from the KV team. It's basically, it depends on what words you type in, and it's automatically generated, and you can't hard code the quick links part. We could put it into, I'll send you the email, but the long and short of it is it won't show up there unless you type in the exact words that are in the article. But if you want those to display, we can hard code it, and then that's what it starts.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically what I need to do. Is make sure
Actually, this one doesn't show it. Does it?
It might be in the article.
In the article.
Yeah, so you wanna, so that's it. What
That's
else?
1773. Oh, I think that's the one you
That's
checked.
the one I-
Okay.
Because that's a date. think we need to create an article that says, how do I make an appointment? We don't have one right now. It's how do I contact my advisor?
But doesn't it say that in that article once they get to that point? Or maybe just revise it?
Are you talking about how to schedule an appointment?
Yeah, so what Rick was doing was typing in the KV, how do I make schedule an
Appointment
appointment?
with my advisor.
And we don't have an article that asks that specific question. So what Rick was saying is that it's not popping up in the KV when he types that in, but that's because it populates based on the wording of the question. How do I contact my advisor? So one thing we could do is create another article of how do I schedule an appointment.
I think it would be the same
Alright.
information that's in that
In the interest
document.
of time, we can go ahead
Reword
and
the question, how do I
get your
contact
feedback.
my
I'm
advisor?
hearing that
My
a lot of
advisor.
people were maybe able to find the award notification,
But they'll learn.
find about how you get notified of your award. What was the answer? How will I be notified of my award?
Once your financial aid award offer is prepared,
We just don't have an answer.
the
Well, I think it's in there.
WSU office
I think it
financial aid
says
sends
that.
email to the WSU
It
email.
may not.
You must act upon your awards according to the instructions in the email. If you have any questions about your award offer, please contact WSU office of financial aid. And 203 Jardine Hall or Wichita./1.
Okay. So, they're gonna get notified via what?
Email.
Email, right? And what was the keyword that you guys were able to find that
Doesn't
answer
it
under?
talk about that kind of stuff in some of these?
Award,
Notification.
award notification, that type of thing, okay? What are the types of financial aid that are available? Did everyone find an answer to that one?
Let's just do it.
Types of financial aid, what are the types of financial aid that it lists?
Both federal financial aid, institutional scholarships, and state of Kansas scholarships.
Okay, so really kind of delineating out the different types of federal aid, our institutional scholarships, outside scholarships, and state of Kansas awards.
Everybody says it's in there.
And then I think this is one that I'm interested to see if anyone found it. Did anyone find the third one? What is the eligibility requirement for undergraduate students?
I really referred back to the slide that we just went over.
Well, you referred to the slide, okay. We're gonna make sure that we beef up the KB for you guys on that one. Did anyone else find something that you felt like you could get an answer to a student on?
And that's one.
Yeah. You found it in admissions?
I
Oh,
don't look at anything to admissions.
what if you just type in financial aid requirements and leave out the undergraduate part? Do you guys get something? Maybe I just have to
Just rename and then the question. Just actually, yes, that's a good one.
Okay.
All right, well, you guys just gave me an assignment for tonight. To
Ready
see if
to
I
give
can
the
add an
articles?
article for eligibility requirements for undergraduate students and stuff. So I'm actually going to turn it back over to Shilu for a little bit to talk to you guys about some of the different aid programs and the different nuances of those various types of financial aid at Wichita State.
Okay, so you guys are probably really familiar with these different programs since you've worked with them so much. So there may be little things that may be a little bit different, or we may have a program that maybe some other schools don't. So we'll just go through them, and then just feel free to ask any questions that you have. So as you probably know, grants are a form of gift aid. They don't have to be repaid. They're ones that you get as a student, and you have to show eligibility for them. So it's usually based on need. And the need that we look at is from the FAFSA, of course. That's black and white, and it's what determines whether they have a need or not. And then the grants that we have are the Pell Grant, the SEOG Grant, Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. And both of those are for students with exceptional financial need. Then we also have the Kansas Comprehensive Grant, just available for Kansas residents. And those are also for students with financial need. And then we also have one that is a Teach Grant. And this is one where some schools may not have a Teach Grant, but we have And it's also available for, this is the one program that's available for both undergraduate students and graduate students. So Pell Grants. So Pell Grants are basically an entitlement program. If you qualify based on your need-based eligibility, then you would get a Pell Grant, regardless of when you apply for the FAFSA. Some of those grants, are limited funding, so we only have a little bit of funding, but with Pell Grants, if you qualify, no matter when you apply, you will be eligible. They are for undergraduate students only, and they're for working on your first bachelor's degree. So those are really the two things that distinguish people from whether they have it. Because sometimes students will call, I had it, and I'm not seeing that I have one. Well, they've switched from an undergrad program to a graduate program, and so they no longer are eligible. Or if they've completed that first bachelor's degree and working on their second one, then they wouldn't be eligible for the Pell Grant. The amounts vary based on their estimated family contribution number. So it is a standard scale that is based on their EFC, and they qualify based on that amount. And that could range anywhere from $595 to $5,730 being for 0 EFC. So you're probably all familiar with that. Again, the application strictly through the FAFSA would you qualify for the Pell Grant. Any questions on the Pell Grant? Okay, so the next one that students can qualify for is the SEOG grant, and that is also a federal need-based grant program, and again, it's to the neediest students. So students who qualify for Pell are the students that qualify for the SEOG grant. With this program, it is limited funding that the university has, so that's why we encourage students to apply by that March 1st date, because usually we only have enough funding to get those early applicants if they qualify. Eligibility, again, is undergraduate students, and where I talked about that limited funding, it's for students with exceptional need, and so you could keep going in terms of if their EFC was greater than 0, but for our students, we usually use up the funding just with 0 EFCs. And so then we don't award after we're out of the funds. And the approximate amount is $800. That's what typically our students get, is $400 per semester for the SEOG grant. Then the Kansas Comprehensive Grant is the next one. And talked a little bit about that. Again, it is for early applicants. They have to be a state of Kansas resident. And typically, the priority date for Kansas is that they have to file by April 1st. Again, because it's a need-based limited funding program, the earliest applicants usually get that funding as well. Exceptional financial need. And then this is the one thing, they have to have full-time enrollment to receive the SEOG grant. If they are less than full-time, they just don't receive the award. It doesn't disperse for them. Any questions on the SEOG, or the Kansas Comprehensive? Next one is the TEACH grant. And this is the Teacher Education Assistance for College Higher Education grant. And it provides up to $4,000 per year. And the eligibility for this is for students who agree to serve as a full-time teacher in a high need field that has a low amount of participation in that field. And so we encourage them to really make sure that they actually meet the qualifications and are going to plan on getting a job in a high need field for this particular TEACH grant. Let me see if there's anything else about the TEACH grant. The TEACH grant does convert if they don't meet the qualifications, so they get the TEACH grant, they're planning on teaching, and then they don't go into teaching, that does convert into a loan. So at Wichita State, the students who qualify for the TEACH grant, they actually have to be admitted into the teacher education program. So when you come in as a student at Wichita State, you could say that you, as a new student, are interested in teaching, but it's not really until your junior year that you actually get admitted into the teacher education program. So that's when students actually qualify for this particular grant. So if they're just coming in and they're not fully admitted, they're not. And then we have a specific counseling session for students who are interested in this because of the fact that it changes over to a loan if they don't meet the qualifications. So we really want them to be sure that they understand the requirements of getting this grant, because it's a little bit different than other grants. It is free money, but you have to meet the obligations of that grant program to actually be able to keep it as a grant. Okay. So there's a team activity now. Pair up in teams of 2. Go to the Wichita State website and locate information on the grants and teach grant.
So,
Let's get in groups of 2.
so what's the height? Do they advise? There's some page. Okay. So, I'm saying, she sent that. Scheduling it. It's just a short.
Give me a hard one. I'll give you a hard one. You're right. But you need it.
You here all week?
Which is good because it kind of forces me to just sit down and focus on WSU. This is until go live, until the end of August, really.
So you're from custom.
It's always,
Beginnings,
technically, I'm devoted 4 days a week, especially teaching.
but you have other.
Yeah, me and the team, they forecast us, but there's always little things that come up.
So you'll probably need lots of updates after August 6th. So
Yeah, that's why Tim got my time through the end of August, because, just making sure go live goes smoothly, and the start of school happening, making sure that we, support and transition.
when are we going to meet Stacy?
Sure,
Is she going to be here this week?
I don't think, I thought that Ellen was coming and a few other folks. I'm not sure, I think Tim's.
Is Stacy based in Washington?
She's in Weston, outside of
Are we open?
She's in DC.
Outside of DC? So do you have that one-stop wordmark? You could put those on your screensavers and your students' computers.
That's a good idea.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, I can see. Yeah, okay. Let me make sure that. Okay.
Which is fine.
If you want to make them give you your answers.
Yep. So did you guys find everything?
Yes.
Was it easy to find? Yes. Yeah. So they found it right away. It took them a second and they found the information. All right. All right, the fact sheets are out there. One other thing that we were talking about is just on the website, there is at the very top, there's a to Z, and that is a very good, handy place if students are looking for information and don't know exactly what to put in the search. You can actually go to the A to Z bar, and that will take you down, and you'll be able to drill down on the information. Just if you know generally what the topic is, you can drill down and look up financial aid information or anything, any departments on campus. Let's say a student has a housing question, you can go on there and find housing information, or just any other departments. So I think the next section that we're getting to is scholarships, and there's a lot of information. So since we're about ready to break for lunch, we'll probably stop here. What's that? Some more gifts? All right, let's have a question for Julie. Can you think of a
Ooh, a financial
aid tricky question that?
Okay, what is the document that a student has to submit if they have unusual enrollment history? What's going to show, and where is it going to show it?
Well, someone's gonna raise their hand.
Raise your hand.
Okay, over here.
Okay, I think Julie was first.
You said unusual.
Enrollment history.
Maybe the consortium?
Nope, it's not that. Do I have another hand? Add another hand over here. Shantara, are you willing to take a chance?
Yes. And you said where?
Where will they find it, and what's it called?
And they're my WSU
Where at?
under finances requirement tab.
Okay,
And then it's going to be called UEH doc.
okay. You get a prize.
Yes.
And I'm assigning the KV article too.
Are there any, we've covered a lot of stuff this morning. Are there any other questions that you have over the materials that we've covered so far? Good. You guys are really on top of it. All right, we'll just take a break, and then when Stephanie comes back, we'll see what the plans are next.
Say that one because she's going to do fellowships.
Okay.
Stephanie, I think that note from Kitty.
All right, everyone, go ahead and just timestamp out on your computers. You're going to lunch. You have an hour for lunch, and just make sure you're back on time. So what time is it now? Yeah, just make sure you can actually go and timestamp out at your desk, and then go. And then what I would do is at least by tomorrow, timestamp in here versus going to your desk first. But I understand. No, if you timestamped out at your desk, go ahead and go to your desk, do it there. What time is it now? 11:54. It's going to take you a couple minutes to get out there, I know, and then get timestamped out. So just make sure you are back within the hour, timestamped in, and then back in here, okay? Let me make sure that's at lunch.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy, you know, there's so many things. It's a little, I'm just, passing everything on to Amanda and sending it back, and then get it back out. And, the biggest thing is just making sure that people are going in and go in and make sure that those articles that it's correct. Make sure that, the question that you want is actually in there phrased the right way.
And it's probably better at this point, to have more questions than, that they don't get used. But on the document, which is academic. Like the one on the advising appointments that was just added in because walk-ins was there. phone appointments was there, but not in general.
Yeah.
How can I schedule an in-person appointment?
Yes.
But it'll become clearer too as we do more of the activities
Sure.
during this week. So